716 Radio, blazing the trails of R&B,
And I feel like sometimes
hip hop, Afrobeat,
If you want make a ginger, give me kokoro.
and inspiration.
We got to go way up.
Fire 716 Radio, playing the best in urban and inspirational music.
Hey everybody, this is DMP Speaks coming at you, and you are locked into Fire 716 Radio. Guys, I need you to do me a favor. Follow me on all my social media platforms. That's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, and that's TikTok at DMP Speaks. Now let's get into this conversation today. Let's go.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Speak Out Loud radio show on Fire. Let me say it again with a little power. Fire 716 Radio. Guys, I need you to do me a favor before we start the show. I need you to download that app. Download the app at Android or Apple Store at Fire 716. Listen, you don't want to miss my show and other shows and community events and music and everything that's popping off at this radio show. You don't want to miss it, guys. Believe me, you don't want to miss it. So today, let me introduce myself. My name is David Pinkston, but I go by the name of DMP Speaks. I am a empowerment speaker, Christian counselor, board certified Christian counselor, and a family restoration specialist, aka family coach. And I am on here to speak about something I think is just very important. This has to do with family. This has to do with self-development, but this really has to do with the fathers. I got something to get off my chest, everybody, and I got to talk about this. Today's topic is fathers are very important. I'll say it again. Fathers are very, very important. I need you guys to share this with someone. Share this and put this on your page on my social media platforms, please. And at my YouTube page, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at I Am DMP Speaks. So again, the topic is fathers are important. So I want to share this story with you. So there was a hot day in July that me and my father were outside just like any other hot July day. And my father, he loves to tend to his vegetables, right? So I decided, I said, hey, Dad, I really want to ride my bike. I want to learn how to ride my bike today. I feel like this is the day I want to ride my bike. I want to learn. So my father said, okay, go get your bike, son. We can get outside. We can ride the bike. So my father started to attempt to teach me how to ride the bike, right? But listen, y'all, this is hilarious. It wasn't funny to me at that time, but it's funny now. I heard what my father was talking about, but I jumped on the bike because I was so excited to ride this bike. So I got on the bike, and he said, son, I'm not done. I said, Dad, I got it. Y'all, I got on that bike. I thought I knew exactly what I was doing. When I say I fell so many times off of that bike, it was embarrassing, okay? And my father, I guess he's like, well, since you don't want to listen, since you got it all together, you go ahead and ride. And I'm telling you, I think I fell at least 4 or 5 times. And I said, Dad, I got it. And every time that I told him I got it, I went down. I absolutely went down. And the reason why I'm bringing up this part of the story, because even though I was so excited to want to ride that bike, because I saw all my friends riding their bikes, and I said, I want to be a part. But as I kept falling, my self-esteem at that time, I didn't know what self-esteem meant, but my self-esteem started to go down. And I said, you know what, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to ride this bike. Because at that time, I really felt hopeless. I was embarrassed because I kept falling, and I kept scraping my knee, and I kept scraping my arm. And I told my dad, I said, I quit. I don't want to learn to ride this bike anymore. They can have it, sell it. Mom can sell it. I don't really care. But you know what my father said? My father told me to get up, stop complaining, and never give up riding this bike. Now, why did I tell you this story today? What's the reason why I'm saying this to you? At that very moment, it wasn't about riding the bike anymore for me. Right at that very moment, my father built my confidence in myself and taught me to never, ever give up. I learned from that lesson to always believe in myself and never give up on anything. And I'm going to say this again, never give up on anything. And guess what, everybody? Because he instilled that into me, I learned how to ride that bike because my father was there to cheer me on, but not just cheer me on. He helped boost my confidence to tell me that I know, son, I know you can do this if you don't give up. And yes, I fell a few more times, but I eventually got the gist of how to ride a bike. And I believe in it. It's not just about the bike, but I learned that lesson to never give up on yourself. And why am I saying this again? Why am I saying this? Why am I drilling this story to you? This is why fathers are so important, because fathers give foundation, they give guidance, they give support to the family to thrive. See, when you have a great father, your life is stronger, it's better, it has more fulfillment and abundance. Now, I'll be honest, everybody. You said, well, how can I meet your father? Well, my father, he's gone. My father's in heaven now. So even though he's no longer here, I vowed to him, and not just to him, I made a vow to myself to never, ever quit on anything. Now, some of you, and again, I know this is a sensitive topic. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm talking about this on purpose because some of you, unfortunately, may not have known your father, right? Your biological father. But, you've had an uncle, you've had a grandfather, you had maybe had an older gentleman in the neighborhood that has been there for you and given you what you needed to survive. Because some of you are still suffering from that. Don't know who your father is, and that's a lonely place. But there was somebody in the trenches for you, somebody that was there, somebody that was a father figure. May not have been your biological father, but there was somebody there to give you the guidance and the leadership to show you how to work on those cars, to show you the sports, or lead you to God, or whatever the whatever they gave you. It was special to you. But let me talk to the fathers for a moment. I want to talk to the fathers that are involved. Fathers, your involvement in your child's life is so rewarding because you have your hand in developing them into their own personal purpose. Does that make sense? I just want to park here for a moment. Your involvement in your child's life is rewarding. You might say, well, DMP speaks, how is it rewarding? I'm going to tell you. If my father was not in my life, I don't know how I would have turned out. I don't know how I would have turned out if he was not there. Some of you, the father figures, the uncles, the big brothers, the pastor, the bishop, whoever it was, listen, if they weren't there, have you ever thought about it? I was just talking to my little god brother last night, and we were talking about his dad and how we were talking about my father. and we were saying, because both of them, we all grew up in church together, and my father was the head deacon. And then when my father retired, his father took over. But he said, my father always looked up to your dad for guidance. Even though he loved my grandfather, he had a special place for your father. He told me, he said, because he taught him the way on how to handle business, how to man the house, and also take care of the house of God. And he said, man, I appreciate you for the way that your father labored with my father. And I said, wow, because I've heard him talk about my father before, but not in that instant. But some of you have had wonderful fathers. I prayerfully that they're still here, but even if they're not here, they are, and they have been, and will be, and continue to be important to you. To be there for you, even if they're not there physically. They're there emotionally. You can listen. I can remember so many conversations that I had with my wonderful saintly father. I can remember certain things that at 8 years old and 12 years old and 15 years old and 21 and 28 and even 30, 31, 32 before he left this earth. And 35 before he left. These conversations will always be with me. Those conversations, the development, I'll say it again, the development that they gave you is priceless. You cannot put a dollar amount on what our wonderful fathers, our uncles, our big brothers, our pastors, our deacons, whoever was in your life, they gave you something that money cannot buy. Cannot buy. So what I want to do for the next few moments, I want to give you some things that my father shared with me that I hope that it would be a help to you. Again, I want you to write these down. I want you to marinate on them. I want you to think about them, because I believe this is going to be a big help to you. So my father showed me that my belief in God, a belief in God, I was able to build upon it. Because he had a belief in God, I was able to build my own. See, when you set the foundation for spiritual, not just enlightenment, right, but spiritual growth from somebody that you admire, and that person is a male, and it's in your life. Fathers, you should be able to hear from God to make the right decisions for your family. That's all I seen from my father. When he did certain things in the home, I see him pray about it. Now, was he all over the floor? No, that just wasn't him. Did he shout and dance? No, he quickened. That was his thing. But he got counsel from the Holy Spirit. He heard from God. He wasn't a preacher, he was a deacon, but he heard from God. He had a relationship with God. And because I saw that relationship, Frank, that was so healthy, and so I wanted that, because I'm now making right decisions for my family because of his example. And fathers, you should be able to hear from God. And I'm just encouraging you too. So this is not me preaching or anything, but if you don't have a relationship with God, but you're developing that, keep going. It has nothing to do with the tie and the shirt. It has nothing to do with that. If you go to every service known to man, no, it is you developing yourself so that your family can thrive spiritually. Here's another one. My father showed me that serving my family and my community was more important than me being financially successful. I'll say that again. My father showed me that serving my family, his family, And my community, his community at that time, was more important than being successful financially. My father involved himself as much as he could. I mean, I'll give you something. And I would never say their names, but there were some family members that were struggling. Okay. They didn't have certain things. No lie. And I'll throw my mother into it, but my father really set the tone for this. Frank, they would come in my house, come into the cupboard and get food. Go to the freezer, get the chicken. I want to eat. I want to eat. Taking food. And I would ask my parents, Dad, why would you let them take my chicken? Like I bought it. He said, son, look at all the stuff that God has blessed us to have. He said, your cousin is struggling right now. He said, they need us. And I mean, I'm not talking about going to the grocery store. I'm talking about coming to our house, getting all our chicken, getting our canned goods. But you know what? Guess what I'm doing? I might not be doing that, but I'm feeding people. Somebody needed something, I'm feeding them. Because of the example, y'all. Listen, I don't want to get emotional because I'm supposed to be a G on here, but it's a testament when you have a good father or a good father figure. Make sure you treat them right. Make sure you honor them and respect them, if I can say that. Fathers, love your family because they need that love and they need that care. See, the more fathers that are involved, the less likely their children will have to suffer. It's another one here. We're almost done. My father taught me how to love my wife and my child, take care of the home, work, do other things, but still be present, even when I have a busy life of my own. To this day, I still don't know how he did it. And I've never said this on the air. While he was doing some of these things, y'all, and doing church and doing all this stuff, my father had cancer. I've never said that publicly. My father had his first bout of cancer at that time. Had no idea. He didn't miss about, and still, with all the stuff that he was dealing with, still went to chemo, but he still worked. Still went to church, still served. Still made sure that we was good. And suffering. Listen, everybody, be present even when your life is busy. I had to learn that. I'm talking about even now, the last few years with my own son. You still got to give him some time. I might not be able to give him the time that I want, but I still have to give him some time. So why am I saying all this as I kind of close here? Fathers, you are important because you give the family the foundation that they need, the knowledge that they need, the strength that they need, the direction that they need, the leadership that is so desperately needed, especially in these days and times, and the togetherness that every family deserves. Fathers, make sure that you're giving everything, and I mean everything that you have, every fiber of your being to your children, because they need you. They need you in their lives, even if, and I'm gonna say this too, even if you're not presently in the physical home and you have your own family, make sure you don't neglect your children. Make sure they see you. Even if it's a FaceTime. I have a brother, I ain't gonna say his name on air. He's not with the wife right now, but he does all that he can to see his child. And he respects the mother. That's another subject for another day. I'm not even going to get into that. But fathers, do your best. Whatever your best is, do your best. You owe it to yourself and to your family, those children, to be present, because you don't want to grow old or older and them not wanting to be in your life. I'll say this to you. Your children are a blessing to you. I'll say it again. Your children are a blessing. It should be a blessing to you. Bless them with your presence. Not present with a T. Your presence. Be in there as much as you can. And I just want to encourage you. I want you to leave with this. I want to encourage you to do the best or be the best father that you can be. Because we need you. Your children need you. They need you every step of the way. Again, I don't know how I would have turned out if my father wasn't there. I want to encourage you all. Be the best father that you can be. Be the best leader that you can be. Because I know you have it in you. And I'm going to say this to you too, and as I close. Maybe you didn't get that when you were younger. Maybe you didn't get that love that I'm talking about, the appreciation, the covering. But now you have an opportunity. Even though you didn't receive it, your children can receive it. Your grandbabies can receive it. That child that looks up to you and says, "Daddy, I love you," they deserve all that you have. My last point is, fathers, you are important. I believe in you, and happy Father's Day. Make sure you get something more than a tie. We got enough of ties. But no, I'm just blessing. Happy Father's Day. Peace.
So much for spending time with me on Speak Out Loud. I hope that I inspired you, motivated you, and I want to help you become the best version that you can be. Please follow me on all my social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at DMP Speaks. But I want you guys to have a wonderful and amazing day. Let's go.